Hey everybody, I wanted to make this video today talking about two fantastic albums that I happen to have just listed to my website, needlemeetsvinyl.com, and the two albums are the Rolling Stones' double album Exile on Main St and Led Zeppelin's album Houses of the Holy. Both absolutely classic albums from the 1970s, and both albums that are just two of my favorite all-time records just to turn up really loud and let them rip because they sound great. And if you have an absolutely fantastic pressing of both of these, as the motorcycle goes driving by, but if you have fantastic pressings of these, which these both are, it really sounds amazing. But let's talk about both of these. So first up, let's talk about Exile on Main St. So this is a double album, like I said, from 1972, and in a lot of people's opinion, this is the Rolling Stones' best album. For me, it's hard to choose what their best album would be because I love so many of them, including Exile on Main St. For me, it's like a three-way tie with Exile on Main St., Sticky Fingers, and probably Tattoo You. I love those three albums a lot, but I love almost all the Stones records. But Exile on Main St., it's like its own special thing. This album, it's got its own sound, and it's got a great sound. It's so rock and roll, and this particular pressing is absolutely amazing. I've had another one of these pressings on the website before, but I was so happy to finally get another one up on there just now today. These are really hard to come by just because A, it's a double album, and B, these original pressings that happen to sound the best it's hard to find them in really tip-top mint condition, but this one is in mint condition, and I will show you what it looks like. By the way, I have a little bit of different setup in the living room now. We got a piano. A friend of ours gave us a piano as a wedding gift, which is super nice. So we had to kind of rearrange our living room, which is also where I listen to most of the records. And so now we have a coffee table here. The piano's over there. We got this rug in here now. So a little different, but the same. Anyway, so if you were wondering, that's what's going on. So this album is on the Rolling Stones' own label, Rolling Stone Records. It's got the yellow label there. But the important thing is that each of these records has the artisan sound symbol stamped on each side. Now the artisan sound symbol is basically like an oval with like two lines coming out of it, almost like devil horns or something is what it looks like. If you want to know exactly what that looks like, go online, look up Artisan Sounds stamp or logo, and then you'll know. But that is a very important logo on this record because these ones sound the absolute best. They have amazing low end that just rumble and just shake the room in a great way, and great clarity as well. Just everything you want in a rock and roll record, this pressing has. So that's side one. There is side two. And as you can see, these are in just beautiful condition. And I'll show you the second record, just because why not? Looks the exact same, of course, as far as the labels go. There's side 3 and side 4. And, this record just has classic Rolling Stones songs like Tumblin' Dice, the Keith Richards song Happy, Ventilator Blues, which is just one of my all-time favorites. Rocks Off is the first song on the very first side. It's a great song. You've got Loving Cup, which is just brilliant. So many amazing songs. I'm missing about 15 other ones that are great. It's just a classic Stones album, and if you like the Stones even just a little bit, this is an album that everyone should have in their collection, especially this pressing. So if you're interested in this one, head over to the website, needlemeetsvinyl.com. Check it out. Check out all the other records I have on there as well. I have some other Stones ones up there currently. And check this one out. Now, moving on to Led Zeppelin. So this is Led Zeppelin's album, Houses of the Holy, released in 1973. And this is just another absolutely classic rock and roll record. And one of my favorite Led Zeppelin albums as well. Now, this particular pressing is also pretty special because this has the all-important markings that are Sterling and RL. Sterling, of course, means that it was mastered at Sterling Sound, and it was RL means it was cut by Robert Ludwig. And Robert Ludwig, for those of you who don't know, is the famous mastering engineer who worked on Led Zeppelin 2, of course, and he did that really famous, hard-to-find, hot pressing of Led Zeppelin 2. But he also worked on so many other great albums, including albums by the band, some by the Rolling Stones, and a lot by Led Zeppelin. And this happens to be a Robert Ludwig pressing of Houses of the Holy, and it just sounds absolutely brilliant. This is exactly how you want to hear this album. I've heard other pressings that don't have the Robert Ludwig initials in the dead wax, and they just do not compare at all. This is exactly as you want to hear this record. Now, this record is in very good condition. I would call it near mint to excellent. The reason I give it the little /excellent is because there are certain songs on here, like the Rain song and a couple of other songs, that have a lot of like really quiet parts that have literally no instruments playing at all. So all you're hearing is just the empty surface noise on the actual record. So if the record has any surface noise at all, which, by the way, all records have some kind of surface noise. Very rarely you will get a record that has zero surface noise. But almost every record from the 1970s will have a slight bit of surface noise. And this one has a little bit of surface noise, so I have noted that on the website. But if you've ever owned this album on this particular pressing, or you've tried to find this album before, you will know that finding an absolutely clean, no surface noise record is nearly impossible. This is about as close to that as you can get, though. This is an excellent sounding record. And the little minimal surface noise, by the way, does not affect the music at all. Because when there is music actually playing, drums are going, guitars are going, you don't hear surface noise at all in any little bit. That goes for a lot of, by the way, Led Zeppelin records. For example, like Led Zeppelin 4, which has, of course, Stairway to Heaven on it, and other kind of quieter songs. Those are also notoriously impossible to find dead quiet. It's just how it is. I don't know if it's because the way Atlantic Records, whatever vinyl they were using to press their records, it's just not 100% zero dead quiet. Like a lot of modern pressings tend to, sometimes when they're done right, can sound pretty dead quiet as far as zero surface noise. But this one's got a little surface noise, but it doesn't hurt the music in any way at all. In fact, I would argue that it's kind of a part of the sound of a lot of Led Zeppelin records, is that slight little bit of surface noise. And I can also, by the way, tell you with 100% certainty that I went through about 12 copies of this album, and all of them had pretty large amounts of surface noise, and this one had the least amount of surface noise. So anyway, that was a long explanation about how some Led Zeppelin records can have a bit of surface noise, but it's no problem at all. But anyway, this album sounds so great, so brilliant, so many classic Led Zeppelin songs that you just gotta turn this one up as loud as your system can handle it and let it rip. So if you're interested in Led Zeppelin, House of the Holy, and the Rolling Stones, Exile on Main St, head to the website, needlemeetsvinyl.com, read all about them, check them out, and if you want to pick them up, and check out all the other records I have on the website, because I have a lot, and I have a lot of records coming in that I will be posting over the weekend and early next week, so stay tuned. Lots of records coming, and that's it for now. So I hope all of you are doing well, being safe, and take care. So bye for now.